Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a special video because today is my mom's birthday. Happy birthday Amma, and her name is Rosaline, so I thought I would just teach you how to paint simple roses with watercolors for beginners. Do not skip the video because there are a lot of tips in between. And if you're new here, consider yourself subscribing and press the notification bell so you'll be notified to check on what is new. And guys, I'm going to teach these pretty roses with watercolors. So the brand that I have right here is Winsor and Newton of Cotman series. Cotman is nothing but student's grade. So the shades that I have is cadmium red deep hue and hooker's green light. So if you don't have these color, you can just go with cadmium, the normal cadmium, and for hooker green you can use sap green or leaf green. The brush that I have is from Silver Black Velvet of size 10. You can just use any brush that you have at home, but make sure that it is the brush type is round. The paper that I'm going to use today is from Cigmatra. This comes with this watercolor sheet pad, but you can just take out a piece of paper out of it, but you can just use any of the watercolor sheets which is of about 270 GSM. So now I'm going to show you my glow up of how I painted roses and how I painted right now. So this is how I painted roses in the beginning, and I kept practicing till the level where I felt satisfied of how I painted roses. So this is the comparison between this and that. I'm still learning, I'm still a beginner, but I just wanted to teach you what I already know. This is another painting I did recently where you can see the walls a bit more realistic, and also I started to learn how to paint buds, and all these are like self-taught. I learned through my own process. So I'm showing you all these because you will get to know a pretty much good idea of whether you have to further watch the video or not, because only if I show you my journey you can really relate if you are a beginner. So how I started and how I am right now. So this is another painting of roses that I did with a very rough textured paper. You can see right now I'm still learning of how to paint these roses on a rough textured paper. So let's get started. First let me squeeze out a little bit of cadmium and hooker green onto my palette. The reference that I'm going to use today is my own painting. I'm not going to take anything from Pinterest. I'm just going to use my own reference. So make sure that your brush is wet and the bristles are soft. The main thing that you have to notice, the first tip that I have got for you is, as the petal grows bigger, the paint goes softer. You can see the inside part of the rose with a highly pigmented, and as the walls grows bigger, the colors fades off. So you will bring out the depth in the painting. So you can see in this artificial flower already, the depth, the inside part is dark. So make sure to bring out the more depth into the rose, you have to use a bit pigmented color in the center. So first start with a comma and then just slowly start building the layers. As you can see right now on the screen, I'm just going to add overlapping walls around the normal comma that I have painted in the beginning. So take a note onto my palette of how I work with the paint, because I'm keep diluting the color with a little bit of water, because as I said earlier, as the petal grows bigger, make the paints softer, or else make the just toned it down, just tone the color down. Also, while painting these petals, one thing that you have to remember is make sure that there are enough white space visible. If you just cover with pink, it won't be that appealing to eyes. So now I'm going to show you how not to draw a rose. So while painting the petals, make sure you do not go alternative, like just opposite. You have to overlap it. So this is wrong. So you just got to paint this petals a bit more overlapping, like this. can see right now, it's just overlapping to one another. You can also still touch, but make sure that there is enough white space. Also keep your hands or wrists soft, because you don't have to be very hard on the petals, you just have to be very soft and smooth, or else you'll end up with C's alone. So the third tip I have for you is, while using a brush for painting these petals, make sure you hold the brush in a bit more inclined angle rather than 90 degrees, because if you just go with 90-degree, you will only get C's alone. It won't look like petals, it will be like a bunch of C's looking at each other. So yeah, make sure you bend the brush to get these soft edges. So just as you can see in this painting, there is no sharp edges, they are very soft because petals are so irregular, so make sure you keep it smooth. While you hold it at 90 degrees, you'll just end up with sharp edges. So make sure you incline the brush at an angle where you get this perfect smooth end for the petals. So guys, now let's add more beauty to this painting by adding stem and leaves. Spoiler alert, the leaves that I'm going to paint is not exactly of how the leaves of roses looks like. Um, but it's a painting, so create your own garden. So now look at these three leaves, which looks completely different from the rest because it has got some dimensions. So as tip number 4, I'm going to teach you how to add dimension. So first add a pigmented green on the leaf that you've painted already, and wash your brush off, and then slowly pull off the paint from the leaf, just as slow as you can, and make sure your brush is clean. If not, the paint won't come off and it will make it look more muddier. This technique is called as lifting, and if you haven't checked out my 12 basic watercolor techniques for beginners, do check it out. Now I'm going to give these dimensions to the rest of the leaves, and we'll meet you very soon. Yeah, we are done. Now it's time to paint these pretty buds. So as tip number 5, I'm going to teach you how to paint buds. So for buds, this is entirely my own learning and my own understanding of how to paint a bud. So while painting buds, make sure you also leave some enough white space. Also maintain the shape of the bud, which is more important. Just as we painted the roses, you just start with a comma and then just go ahead. And at the top, make sure it is closed because there shouldn't be any opening because buds are enclosed. They are all lapped and the petals are enclosed. So you can also add a bit of sepals at the sides. Step number 6, I'm going to teach you how to highlight these leaves. So to highlight these leaves with veins, I just use this normal white paints to highlight them. So just make sure that you highlight them the way the leaves are lined, the way the leaves are pointed. Just draw these lines randomly, it might not look that good. So make sure that you draw these veins just as the way the leaves are pointed. The tip number 7 that I have for you is creating a background with splattering effect, and this technique is also been uploaded on my channel, so please do check it out. Right now I'm going to use Artisa's fine liner to do a little bit of write up in the leftover space. You can just write anything you want, happy birthday, wedding or anniversary gift or anything that you want. Today I'm going to write a rose because Rosaline is my mom's name, as it well goes with the painting. I just want to write rose. So yes guys, this is the final picture of our painting. I hope you really enjoyed how to paint simple roses with watercolors for beginners. Also do let me know if you want to learn a bit more advanced version of these roses, because these roses that you see right here are a bit advanced. You can see the worlds a bit more realistic. Do let me know if you want to learn them in the comment section so I can really make a very good tutorial of how to paint advanced version of roses. Also, if you like this video, please do hit the thumbs up, comment and share it with your friends. Happy painting! God bless you.